Welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show. I am James Boslaw, your Fredericksburg area realtor and vacation rental investor. And this show is all about real estate in the Fredericksburg area, the Fawn Lake Community, and the vacation rental space. I help people buy and sell homes because I believe that everyone should grow their wealth as they live in or own a home that they love. I also believe that everyone should feel confident when buying or selling a home, and confidence comes when you are well educated and informed. And that's what this show is all about. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone, welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show, where in today's episode, we are going to take a look at the real estate stats in the Fawn Lake community for the month of April, as well as year to date through April. Let me first off acknowledge that this has been a couple weeks later than normal that we've published this episode due to some sickness and family travel. I'm publishing this a little bit later than normal, but that's okay because I am absolutely committed to making sure that I'm putting out these monthly data and statistics on the real estate market in the Fawn Lake community so that you all are absolutely aware of what's going on in our community. So without any other pause, I'm just going to dive right into these stats. These stats are all over the place, and things are a little weird right now, which we'll get into in just a moment. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the stats in the Fawn Lake community for the month of April in 2023, and then compare it to the month of April in 2022. And when we do that, the stats are, they're odd. They're all over the place. The overall sold volume in the month of April this year compared to the month of April last year is actually up 14%. So April was a good month as far as the amount of homes that were sold in this neighborhood versus last year. But the average sales price, for the first time that we've seen in a while, the average sales price is actually 7.5% lower in the month of April of this year compared to the month of April of last year. Now, we take all this information with a grain of salt. Our neighborhood has just a certain amount of homes that we pull data from, which does sometimes mean that when you look at just 1 month, it doesn't tell the whole picture. We'll get to the year-to-date stats, which are a little bit more comprehensive and I think a little bit more accurate. But it is significant to note that in the month of April of 2023, the average sales price of the homes in our neighborhood was down compared to last year. That's the first time that we're seeing that in quite some time. The median sales price is down about 20% this year compared to last year. Once again, this is the first time that we're seeing sales prices go down, but we're just looking at this month compared to last month or last year, the month of April. So units sold, we have a 25% increase in April of 2023 versus April of 2022. So what that means is that we have more homes that have sold this year versus April of last year, but those sales prices are a little bit lower than this year than they were last year in 2022. Here's probably the most telling stat, that the average days on market in the month of April of this year was 150% higher than it was last year. Right now, the average days on market in the month of April is 15, and before it goes under contract, when last year the average days on market was 6. So we're talking about 150% increase for days on market for those homes that are being sold in our neighborhood. I'm noticing this across the neighborhood, talking to different real estate agents. I'm also noticing it personally. I have a listing that just went under contract yesterday, but it did take quite some time to get it under contract. So what that tells us is that homes are taking longer to sell. Sellers, this is no longer 2021 and 2022. It does take a little bit longer to sell your home, so patience is definitely needed when you are looking to sell your home. Now, that's just taking a look at April of 2023 and then comparing it to April of 22. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at year-to-date stats. So that would be January through April of 2023, and then comparing that to January through April of 2022. So we're looking at 4 months of this year versus the first 4 months of last year, and when we do that, this is what we find. The overall sold volume is actually down 41%. There's fewer homes being sold in our neighborhood than there was last year. The average sales price is up 6.5%. So even though you look at the month of April compared to last year, the numbers are down. Year to date, we are seeing that the overall values of homes are about 6.5% higher year to date this year than they were year to date last year. The median sales price is up this year about 4%, just under. And so once again, the values of the homes in our neighborhood are remaining solid. We're going to look closely at the monthly stats for May because April might provides some indication of there being a shift, but we don't want to put too much emphasis into just 1 month when we're looking at things over the course of time. The units sold is down year to date by 43%. Once again, fewer homes are being sold. But the average days on market, if you look at the year to date, is actually down this year compared to last year. Now, that is what's interesting to me, because what we're starting to see is that the homes here in the neighborhood are taking longer to sell, but that data is going to come out, I think, over the course of the next few months. Start of this year, things are still flying pretty good compared to last year. So if you look at things from a year-to-date perspective, which we have more information, more data to pull from, and if we were to take all this information and summarize it, the values of homes are staying solid. They're up a little bit more year-to-date. We might be starting to see a shift in sales prices. We're going to watch that closely with the May data, which will come out in a few weeks. But the average days of market, the amount of time it takes for a seller to sell, is much higher. Patience is definitely necessary. It's needed. There's a lot of speculation out there about what is driving the market, what's driving the market. Oftentimes, experts will say is the supply and demand. Inventory remains low. Demand is kind of mixed. The interest rates are fluctuating. They actually have gone up recently and are currently hovering around 6.5%. So many folks think that the sales prices, the values of homes, will follow the interest rates. That is to be determined. We have no idea what's going to happen to interest rates. All signs are pointing to a flattening out currently, but we have a lot of things happening that we're watching closely, including the debt ceiling talks. As of today's episode, we're not sure if they're going to reach a deal or not, but we are hopeful and confident that they will. If they don't, that would have a huge ripple effect on the real estate market, and that'll be something we'll talk about in next episode if that's the case. But there is still opportunity to be had. If you're a seller, you just got to be patient, but the values are still there. If you are someone looking to buy in Fawn Lake, you have less competition, so you might be able to have a little bit more concessions when you're looking to purchase a home. And yes, those interest rates are higher, and your mortgage would probably be a little bit higher than it was a few years ago. But you can always marry that home, fall in love with the home, get the right home, and you date the mortgage. What we mean when we say that is if you find the home that you love, buy it, live in it if the numbers work, and in the upcoming year or two, you can refinance it when the interest rates are lower. And that will save hundreds of dollars on your monthly payment. So there's still a lot of information that we have to track. In the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to have more data as we take a look at what is happening in the month of May. And I'm excited to see that because there's a lot of activity going on right now. I think that's going to really tell us what direction things are going to go in. So I can't wait to see you on the next episode for the month of May. Once again, I'm sorry this is coming out a little bit later than usual, but I am very passionate about providing all the information that I can to you because I believe that everyone should feel confident when they're looking to buy or sell a home, and I believe that confidence comes when you are well educated and informed. That's what this episode, that's what this show is all about. That's what I am committed to. But if you do have more questions and need more expert advice, you can follow me at my website, explorewithjb.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, then click subscribe. That way you're always kept up to date whenever we put out the newest episode for the show. And if you are listening to this on Apple's podcast, make sure to follow it so that once again, you are kept up to date when the newest episodes air. With that being said, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Make it a great week.